Hey there, my fellow gearheads, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Project Zomboid Rescue, Episode 6, Pay at the Pump. The chopper only ever comes once, so now that I've, dodged the chopper, I don't really have to worry about it again. Rainwater is not fine, it's actually unsafe, but I put that bucket on my, my antique stove and boiled it. Can you paint walls? You can. You can paint walls. It has to be player-built walls, and you have to plaster and lathe them first. But yes, you are able to paint walls as well. So before I go out, I want a few things to aid me. I want a fresh propane torch and welder mask. And then also the sledgehammer. So if there's... if I need to get through certain doors, I can just yeet them out of existence. The backpack's going to be too... So I'm going to get a little encumbered on this trip, but I'm going to go... How far is it? It's walkable. So maybe I try to walk. Just trying to figure out if I can lighten my load a bit. Not really. Put the leather jacket away. Alright, I'm at least under encumbrance now. The car is empty, so yeah, I can take the car. And unload that up. Chicken. I'm pretty sure I totally emptied out this car. Trunk's empty. All seats are empty. So the chopper tends to shuffle a lot of zombies around, so anywhere that I've already cleared might not be cleared anymore. You can't really assume that zombies haven't nestled back into places that you've spent the labor to clear out. But at least, by default, it only happens once. In this series, if I'm lucky, it will happen twice. But on purpose the second time. Oh, hello. Given how close I am to my weight allowance, I just make a point in putting everything that I'm looting right into the trunk and not to carry it myself. Except for maybe the chicken. Generators can go in any seat, provided there's nothing else in the seat. A generator weighs 40, but one of the weird things about Project Zomboid is no matter how much it weighs, it will go into, car seats that can only normally hold 20, if it's the only thing that's in there. That was like an auditory bug. I heard gurgling noises from the wrong direction. No, I didn't. He's right behind me. Bunch of tourists with their maps and disposable cameras. Hell of a time to pick to come to good old Louisville and then die to the zombie apocalypse. I do have one from behind. Whoops, wrong key. Is there any car keys around? No. That third car looks like a pretty good, pretty well intact. Maybe I can get like a suture needle from the ambulance. I know it's not going for the generator, but no, it's locked up. Well, I must say the helicopter did a lot less damage to this area than I thought it could. I mean, there's zombies, but there's not like 100 zombies in one big clump. Because the chopper didn't see me, which means that it didn't hover over one spot, it moved around, so the zombies didn't glom into one big spot. Come on, crowbar. I don't have good maintenance skill, but survive! So I'm also making a point to shred anything that's convenient for me to grab that is electronics. Because I have the electronics book read. In fact, I should probably open up my skills info. So there you go. You can see skills. So I'm trying to level up carpentry, electronics, and metalwork. I know that I could be going into these vehicles, into like the trucks, and stripping out the radios and other parts, but that's a bit out of scope what I'm trying to do. And this right here is the self-storage yard that is likely... that is rumored, let's say, to have my generator. Grab that watch in a second. Sounds like there's a lot of angry zombies inside. A sledgehammer in a cardboard box? Wow. That's a thing. Imagine if I hadn't found one yet. That would be a godsend. So that's locked. They just broke it out of the gate, so that's good. Or the door, rather. Alright, come on. Let's dance. Time for me to reenact my version of Storage Wars. Nope. Just kidding. Time for me to... Oh, man! I keep... Whatever cigarette... or whatever lighters and matches I keep grabbing have, like, no charges left on them. Like, no fuel or no more matchsticks. This is, like, the third lighter/matchbook that I've gone through. Oh, I see you. Oh, almost let him have me. Do not feed the zombie your forearm. Please and thank you. So if you're ever looking for generators, there are baked-in generators that are guaranteed in the game that you can find by just searching like PZ map that are outside of garages and buildings that are guaranteed to be there. But that's not always like convenient to get to. And alternatively, you can come into these self-storage containers, which, given the amount of self-storage that there is in this facility, is like nearly guaranteed to have at least one. I'm not going to say it's guaranteed, because it's not. But it's... Oh, needle and thread. Swank. I needed that. I also needed sheets to cover up windows back at the base. Some magazines for fuel starter. But yeah, these self-storage containers will have a pretty high chance for generators. And then if not that, some residential garages will have a high chance for generators as well. But if you're really in a pinch, just make the drive out to a guaranteed spot. Like the military checkpoint spot has a whole bunch of guaranteed ones. I'm going to grab this television for the home. And maybe all the books. Oh, I did put my matches in there, yeah. I should have favorited it. I didn't want to do that. Who do I hear? Oh, Jesus. Alright, time to drop everything on the ground. Can't be encumbered for this. There's a lot of zombies. Well, not a lot, but there's a few zombies spilling out of this building here. Which mod? It's called Equipment UI to show the clothing next to your inventory screens. Riverside map. Alright. All maps done. So unless the map is annotated, I no longer need maps. I've done all of the maps. Well, so far I'm quite pleased. I managed to get a needle, which is very important for tailoring. A TV would have been really easy to find, and then sheets are going to be really useful for covering up windows. Because the door in the warehouse that I live in... oh, let's get the matches, too. The door in the warehouse has a window built into it. I could always replace that door with, like, one I build myself, so it doesn't have visibility. But putting a sheet over it will solve that problem, too. So there were more zombies, I think, to my south. I gotta be careful about not letting them follow me into the self-storage facility. There's also the risk of everybody... If there's any zombies, like, upstairs in the self-storage facility, these are the types of facilities that you can get trapped in. Because I have a sledgehammer, I can always, like, bust a wall down and not have to, like, use doors at that point. So I'm not so worried about getting trapped. But I only mention it because if you're a new player, self-storage facilities can be death traps. if you venture too far in and don't have a way to get out. Oh, another sewing kit. You only really ever need one needle, but thread is always nice. Now, if I was real completionist, which given the... Oh, there we are. There's a generator. Which, given the time of day, I'm not going to bother being. But if I was real completionist, I would also be, like, tearing down the... you know, furniture and the like. What was this person doing? I got guerrilla radio too, that's cool. We have like a bomb maker in here. Who also enjoyed cooking shows. So I'll grab this this generator after I clear out this line of facility. A scarf, nice. Got real lucky. Scarf's really nice because there's not a lot of clothing that covers your neck in PZ. You can have some jackets will cover your neck, but not many. So other than a scarf, there's really not much else. Have I already had the helicopter event? I have. I got helicopter on... what, 8th day? Something like that? The chopper was a whole bunch of nothing. You didn't miss anything. I heard it. I ran to cover. It passed. Nothing happened. What should I do tomorrow? That will be left up to you guys. So I have my generator. So in terms of my checklist of things, the only typical tool that I have not yet looted would be a cooking pot, which is not like a mission critical one. Also, almost certainly going to find cooking pots all the time in residential apartments and houses and also in restaurants. It's not a difficult item to find at all. Nope, I did it again. I keep taking the wrong turn. I'm used to having the mini-map to play with, but on Apocalypse difficulty, you don't get a mini-map. And my reliance upon it shows a little bit. So 2 generators would probably be more ideal, or actually more ideal even then would be 3. 3 so that I can put 1 over at the gas station and have 2 at home to be able to swap between. But even just a single generator is pretty fortuitous. And there's quite likely more generators in the building that I just cleared out. I just had enough stuff that I figured, man, why not just come home? And what's on the menu? You guessed it. More chicken. I don't have my stuff all that well organized. But that could definitely be a rainy day type of thing to do. we're going to have a little day of reading. Cool. Can you cook something unique with chicken? Yeah, there's a whole bunch of recipes. The way the game works is, like, you can make certain dishes. So you could make, like, a salad with, like, chicken in it. Or you can make a soup with chicken in it. Or you can, you know, and it goes on like that. Where it can become an ingredient of some sort of recipe. There we go. That window is now closed. The rest of the windows don't so much matter, because I already had the chopper event. And zombies are going to see me through these other windows, because they're really far away from the loft here. I wonder if my chicken's burned. Hey, Lath. Thank you for your... Oh, it hasn't even started cooking yet. I think it was because it was frozen. Thanks for swinging by. One thing I am going to do before going to sleep is... Oh, right, I do have chicken on the stove. I want to try to get something more comfortable to sleep on. So I don't know if this is going to end well. But I am across the street from a furnishings place. I don't think I'm going to go for gold. And try to grab like a king-size bed. I don't think it's likely that I will be able to move one successfully. But I will try for a couch. I think that's a more reasonable goal for my current skill. Is there any benefit? So the benefit of cooking... It's a little hard to explain, but it depends on several factors. So one is that food will have certain... Oh god, that was loud. Food will have certain nutritional value. So if you're trying to gain weight or lose weight, you could do that with cooking. So without making yourself... Oh my god, this is really not going well. Without making yourself miserable. So if you're wondering what I mean by that, it's like, one way to gain weight in the game is to just, like, eat, like, lard or butter or something like that, right? But, like, you're gonna hate life doing that. So a better way is to then use butter in a recipe so that you have all the calories of eating the butter, but you don't have all the misery of eating a stick of butter. The same is true for losing weight. You know, if you forage for berries, berries are particularly low-cal but filling. You can make a berry medley salad or something like that, and you'll feel full, but you won't have consumed a lot of calories so that you end up losing weight. And then there's at really high-level cooking skills, it allows you to incorporate some rotten food into what you're making. So that has its own benefit, where you can... you know, you can incorporate like rot. Yeah, and this is more applicable like later on, way down the line when you're late stage surviving. But you can incorporate some like rotted meat. That way you can still like burgers or whatever. And some foods will be exciting. So if you're depressed or bored, cooking can, you know, it's the spice of life. What's wrong with eating a stick of butter? I'm not going to answer that. Everything. Sounds horrifying. But I guess if you really like it, go for it. Live your best life. If that means eating sticks of butter to you, I'm not going to stop you. All right, we're going to do some reading here. So I've got tailoring 1 that I'm aiming to do today. And then maybe I will try mechanics 1 as well. Coffee with butter? I've tried it once. It was like one of those trends that were trending. And, no. No. Just no. If it's, again, if it's for you, you know, cool. It's not for me. It's gross. Glitch, even hearing, catching word of people abusing coffee like that makes you sad, huh? It looks like I'm losing weight, so I'm just going to purposely overeat. I'll eat a whole, what is that, a wing? Thigh? It kind of looks like both. I think that's a thigh. It's like a drumstick wing. It's confusing, but I'll eat the confusing piece of chicken that I have. Tailoring 1 is all done. So if there's tons and tons of corpses out there with a lot of clothing, there's a bit of a skill incentive for me to strip the clothing off now. Am I going to live on the roof? No, I already have my home, Maddie. I'll show you in a second. The reason I was on the roof is when you read indoors, you get bored. So this is my little loft here. So if you're reading a lot, if you're spending an entire day reading outdoors is best, unless it's like super cold out or very rainy or something like that. Because it helps to negate the boredom of reading. And I read until 2 in the morning. There's really no more books for me to read, so I'm kind of done with that. Unless I want, like, cooking 1. Which, I don't really care too much about cooking skill. Hey, Shelbell, thank you for the resub. Welcome. At the buzzer, but welcome. As far as I know, I definitely still have running power. That much I know. And I'm pretty sure I still have running water. Is this drink unlimited? Yeah, I still have running water. Soon that will change, and I will need to source my water. Am I going to TwitchCon this year? Sadly, no. I've never been to one, but trying to justify flying out to Vegas, it's with a 1-year-old. That doesn't pass the sniff test to me. And before I turned in for the night, there was one other thing I wanted to do, which is to add a sheet here so that zombies can't see me through here. Now, I haven't obscured all of the ways to see in. There's some second-story windows, but the chance of a zombie spotting me through that second-story window is, like, really, really low. And it's nice to be sleeping on a average quality surface now. It's not so horrible like a plastic lawn chair, which honestly is probably, I can't even, if I had a choice between like a metal floor and a plastic lawn chair, I would pick metal floor 10 out of 10. So the last thing I'm going to do here, I didn't pull for, is clear out the gas station. I did just get a generator. There's a chance for me to find a generated magazine in the gas station, albeit a small one. A better place to find generated magazine would be like a bookstore or a post office. I already tried the post office. Speaking of which, I need to mark the post office as cleared. Because I did sort of loot it. I haven't actually cleared any other buildings. except for the post office. Like, even the furniture emporium, I, like, put a foot into, grabbed a couch, and ran away, or the Milk and More, I, like, looted half of it. I didn't actually complete it, so I don't want to mark things down that I've only partially done. I've had some PZ runs where, like, the generator magazine is the holy grail that I cannot find, and then other PZ runs where generator magazine was offered to me immediately, like, fell into my lap. So I'm really curious as to which it will be this time around. The stores across the street, there's one that might have food, the Tasty Foods, but I don't think any of them are going to have Jenny magazines. I think the best place near me for generator magazines is going to be either the LSU's library or Bernard's Book Emporium, which are both roughly the same distance, but they're both kind of a drive. They're not so walkable. That was a wicked uppercut. You had a generator magazine start your starter home? I've had some pretty mad starter homes like that, too. I had a starter home once where I got a generator magazine, a generator, and a sledgehammer all in a starter home that was a 2-story starter home. So I immediately had, like, an outpost. The only thing the starter home didn't have was, like, a balcony on the second floor for me to put the generator. So the generator had to be on the ground floor. Unless I, like, dissected the building. But still, I mean, that was pretty legendary. Cheers! Well, that was not so hard. So I've been in this building once, and the alarm got set off the minute I stepped foot in it. Not this time. Is there a shotgun? Nope. Sometimes there's like shotguns in the counters. Sometimes it's good to take everything. I'm really close to home, so I don't really care if I'm encumbered. Might as well just have one giant convenience store run. Now cross your fingers, I'm about to check the magazine rack. Newspapers, okay. A map of everything. Gift from Mom. Don't forget to visit Grandma's grave if you can. Say a prayer for us all. Gift from Mom is in the cemetery. What? Is your mom a ghost? So gift from Mom was here. I'll give it a little gravesite symbol. Okay, strange. And the other map. Don't use guns, stuff you, quiet here. Okay, so this is March Ridge, 4th house down next to the school has stuff. It doesn't really tell me what the stuff is. I'll just do this. Yeah. Good enough. Next one, comic book, electronics, but not a useful one, and magazines. And last, no Jenny mags. I didn't think that I would get that lucky. It's pretty unusual to get generator magazines in these racks. It's not impossible. I've done it before, but the likelihood was kind of low. Hell, I've even seen generator magazines in these racks too. One thing I'm not finding in these racks is every now and then you'll find jerry cans in these, and that was not the case. While I have power on, it might not be a bad idea to fill up the jerry cans that I have, because as soon as the power is lost, I have a finite amount of gasoline for my car. So maybe I go do that. And also, like, fill my car up. Top up the gas tank, because I think it was like a 30-something unit tank, which is pretty good. And do I have a spare weapon? I do. I have a spare crowbar on me here, because I know my primary crowbar is about to break. Guess that makes sense. Yeah, the here in America, not most, but a lot of gas stations will sell you propane tanks, jerry cans. You know, you can find that stuff pretty regularly in gas stations. Sometimes not on the shelves, sometimes like in back or whatever, but still I see it not too infrequently. And then most gas stations will also have, like, car oil and like, jumper cables, and just sort of the stuff that you would need to maintain a vehicle, you know, sold on the shelves. That's pretty common as well. Like, cold medicine, whatever. Okay, I don't have organization here, so I'm just dumping the rest of the stuff in. But let's get the jerry cans out and top them up. So this one only has 2 units of gas in it. Gotta top that. Do you guys remember? Yeah, here's one. I might just have 2 cans. Oh, 3. I know that you can put them in bottles, like glass bottles and like. I'm not planning on it, as the amount of fuel that you can store in those is tiny, so it's a lot of effort for not a lot of payday. Wow, Shield, man, you nailed the uptime. Perfect as it goes. And fuel side is left, because I have fuel side indicator mod on. Am I on the wrong side? It's hard for me to, like, conceptualize the angle of the arrow. But I'm mostly here to fill the cans anyway. The car is pretty full. A very risky fast forward time. 3 full cans, not bad. Just looking around me, making sure no creepers are coming in to beat me up. Did I not even... What am I doing? Like, started laying on the ground. I didn't park close enough. Did I... I did it again. The other thing I might want to grab is the chicken propane tanks while I'm here. Because, does anyone know in the current version of Project Zomboid if scrapping vehicles is still propane bugged? That's a question that I had that I didn't manage to answer in prepping for this stream. So for those that don't know what I'm talking about, there is or was a current bug where it would take more propane than even fit in a propane torch to be able to dismantle a car, making it impossible. And I don't know if that bug is still a factor. But luckily, this is the most propane per square meter that you will find in the game. There's 4 tanks here, which is pretty awesome. As far as you're aware, you still need the propane fix? Okay, so that's probably something I'm going to have to add to this series if I intend to shred vehicles, because otherwise it's just not possible to dismantle burned cars, which is pretty dumbs. And also, while I'm here, I might as well just grab the rest of the food that's just in the shelves that isn't rotten by now. A lot of milk. It's too bad I'm not planning on farming. Farming is a ingredient you need for mildew spray if your plants get mildewy. So if you have big farms, you might need a lot of milk. Might as well practice a little skill too. Ah, yes, see? Pays off. Electrical 1. And these ovens are like fancy ovens that would take a lot of electrical skill to move anyway. But all right, that's enough stuff for today. It's a current bug. It used to be that you could shred cars, scrap cars with a torch. And it's definitely not intended, because if the game didn't want you to scrap cars with your propane torch, they would just remove the option to do so, rather than to make it require so much fuel that it's physically impossible, which is just a silly and confusing for no reason. For a lot of new players, they probably just think it's impossible. Also started to do the garbage bag collection. I don't think it's unreasonable to make my own water stores. You just double checked. It still takes 28 units per car. Torch only holds 10, so it's still bugged. Yeah, okay. I'll have to make a mental note to add that. That's been that's been a bug, yeah, for a long time, but only from the last major patch. So it just hasn't been fixed because there really hasn't been a patch from it since. But it is weird that they've fixed a lot of other things and not that. Seems strange to me because like other things have been hot fixed since, just not in a major patch. Guess it was a low priority. I mean, the fact that you could just install a mod to fix it very easily kind of negates the fact that it's a problem, I guess. But for players that don't know how to use mods, it would definitely be nice to fix it for them. Well, friends, that about wraps up this stream. Thank you for tuning in to Project Zomboid Rescue, which originally streamed live on Twitch September 7th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com and the description of this video have a link to Discord. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I'll catch you in next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow zombie slayers.